everybody? Tyrone the God 3 here, and we are going to discuss exactly what I think the Bonnie spin-off series should be if Bonnie and Dedenne had grown up 2 years after Pokemon and started the journey. And I think this will be a very good implement to the anime because cut the crap! Oh no. I've had a lot of anime guests come on my channel to interrupt a video that I could have potentially made cool. Like Ryuk and Trunks and that nerd that disrupts my top 5s. But you, Naruto? You? Yep, you better believe it. I thought you stopped saying that. Oh yeah, sorry. Anyway, I came here because cut the Pokemon stuff for a minute. What? Come on! It's November! And a certain person's manga series just ended. Oh yeah, that's right! Oh right! Yeah, your series is over! Huh. Well. So, that means make videos about Naruto! Believe it! I mean, what, you don't like Naruto? I thought I was good enough to be on Tyrone the God 3, but I guess he's not good enough to do a review of my series. He's just a chump. But hey, Naruto. First of all, the thing is, your series may be over manga-wise, but it's still going on anime-wise. It hasn't ended yet. And the other thing is, I didn't finish your series anime-wise. What? Okay, I did finish part 1. And as far as the Shippuden stuff goes, I only made it up to about the moment in which Sasuke kills Orochimaru. You're so far behind then! What are we gonna do? Okay, hold on, we can reach a compromise. The thing about it is, I will give my opinions on you, and I will talk about you in discussions, and I'll even throw you in for a couple of top 5 videos. 2 of them sound nice? Oh yeah, that sounds sweet! 2 discussions and 2 top vids? I'm down for that! Okay, so, we'll do that. I'm gonna try to do that for you all of November, at least what's remaining of November, alright? Because, to believe it or not, I do like your series. I have some problems with it, but I do like your series. And I respect it. Fine. So, what is this exactly? I guess this is the discussion of part 1, because I enjoyed part 1 the most anyway. Ha! I knew it was going to be that. I mean, it says it in the title. What were you going to say? Some Pokemon stuff? Well, this is a sketch that we're doing, alright, just to get into the real video. So, let's just get on with it. Alright, let's go! Alright, you guys, so I guess you already know that this is going to be my, basically a discussion video, a healthily long 30-minute discussion video of how I feel about Naruto the series part 1. The part where Naruto's still about like 12 years old or whatever. Because as I said in the sketch, in the skit, that I like this one way more than Shippuden. Like, don't get me wrong, Shippuden is great and it's had its great moments and stuff. It was definitely more of a serious toned series and stuff, but I gotta say I really liked part 1. Part 1 had the nice balance of things that I should know in the universe of Naruto, and it didn't do too much while at the same time it didn't do too little. It was great. It was great. So, let's start off with a little bit of history of how I got into Naruto in the first place. So as you all know, since the series is over, I decided to take these last couple of days to just basically recollect on my history with the #1 hyperactive knuckleheaded ninja Naruto. Naruto basically came out around the time, I believe, when Dragon Ball GT had departed. That means like Dragon Ball GT had left and we had nothing on Tsunade to satisfy our action shonen fighting anime needs. But then, out of nowhere, popped this guy, Naruto Uzumaki. His show had been promoted and Naruto was wearing like these bright orange colors, and I'm like, who's this guy? And they're like, It's a series about ninjas or a ninja school, and they're all promoting it, like classes in session and stuff like that. And the thing is like, oh, okay, so it's an anime about ninjas in school? Because that's how Naruto had basically portrayed itself off to be. It didn't portray itself off to be ninjas. It portrayed itself off to be ninjas in school. Like, I believe some of the slogans were like ninja schooled or classes in session or like stuff like that. And Tsunade basically blew up with Naruto the minute it came out, because I believe that when Naruto finally reached the US, it was already like really far ahead in the anime via Japan, which means they could afford to show like a ton of episodes, like just a large bulk of episodes. And that's exactly what they did for Naruto's first premiere. They played like, I think they played like 4 episodes in a row, and that was pretty cool. So we got to see like a large amount of the series beginning. So we get introduced to the series, and then I'm like, okay, this show's got me pretty hooked. And me and my stepbrother would basically watch it every Saturday on Tsunade religiously. And I gotta say, like, for those of you all who don't know about Naruto, I'm gonna give you like the best description I've got. So first of all, it's not a ninja school. In fact, the Ninja Academy is only covered in like a few of the episodes in the beginning, and that's because Naruto starts off the series as not as a genin, but as a Ninja Academy student. Because of this, Naruto wants to become a genin, and he actually, I believe, flunked. So he's a bit older than the others. Well, no, because I believe they do the academy a bit differently. Anyway, Naruto is in a class with several other students, and he is the worst ninja ever. He can't perform a decent shadow clone. He can't perform a substitution. He can't do anything right. And he also is basically the target of a curse. When the series begins, they explain a lot of what happened. Long time ago, this giant 9-tailed fox came in and was destroying all of the village. The village is known as the village hidden in the leaves, or the hidden leaf village, if you will. 9-tailed fox causes damage throughout the entire village, and then the head ninja, or he's the equivalent to being the president of the entire country that he serves. So the Hokage, if you will, or the leader of the entire village, basically goes in and fights off against the 9-tailed fox. Fighting it off regularly won't do any good. The only way to put this thing to rest would be to seal it into someone else, so that it can't keep destroying the village. Luckily, the 4th Hokage saw that there was a baby being born, and since the newborn baby was being brought into the world, he decided to go ahead and use them as the person to keep the seal inside of them. So he sealed the 9-tailed fox inside of the baby. This baby is Naruto Uzumaki. However, the mother that had Naruto Uzumaki ends up dying afterwards. So Naruto does not have a mother, and we do not know who his father is as of right now. Those of y'all who watch the series clearly know who his father is. Anyway, the father ends up dying too, because the jutsu that he uses is known as the Reaper Death Seal, which kills the user after they perform the jutsu. So, without a father or a mother, Naruto Uzumaki grows up in a world without any parents and no one to look out for him. Afterwards, he also gets very isolated from everyone else in the village, and prejudiced and biased and treated like crap and discriminated against, all because he is what is known as a Jinchuriki, or basically a child that's holding a beast inside of their body. So because of that, everybody views him as being the 9-tailed fox, and they view him as a monster, and everybody basically just treats him like crap for the entirety of the beginning of the series. And due to the lack of compassion that anybody shares for him, Naruto doesn't have much time to hone much of his ninja skills. However, he does take this lack of respect as a fuel for him to become the best ninja in the world, also known as a Hokage, the head ninja of the village hidden in the leaves. However, he is a prankster because he, has no family to really have taken care of him. So So he does very prankster-ish acts, like painting all over the sacred Hokage statues, pulling pranks on the current Hokage, and, you know, jokes and hijinks and crap like that. Because of this, there's only one person that does look out for him at this point, though, and his name is Iruka, or Iruka Sensei. He's the one who teaches the Ninja Academy class, and he treats Naruto out to ramen and is somewhat of a father figure to him for the beginning of the series. He learns a lot from him, and then we end up seeing this one guy named Mizuki who becomes a village trader, and he tries to steal this sacred scroll that allows ninjas to learn various expert level jutsus, even if they're like a novice level, but it's forbidden because yada yada yada. Anyway, the point is, he tries to reach some kind of like truce with Naruto in order to get Naruto to end up stealing it. Iruka fights with Mizuki, the two have a fight, but then Naruto gets pissed because Iruka ends up getting hurt in the fight. Naruto uses a little bit of his nine-tailed fox chakra in conjunction with the jutsu that he just learned from the scroll in order to perform a multi-shadow clone jutsu, which normally is hard to pull off. And then the fight is over, and then Naruto earns, at first Naruto failed the ninja exams in order to become a genin, but at the end of that episode he becomes a genin, and he ends up getting Iruka's headband as the headband that he gets as graduation. So he does end up becoming a ninja at the end of the first episode, and that's basically how the series begins. So, with that all being said, the series basically continues onward with Naruto teaming up with two other ninjas, and they become a team known as Team 7 along with their sensei, Kakashi Sensei. These two ninjas include Sakura, the female ninja who has a love obsession with Sasuke and does nothing during the first half of part 1, or during part 1 in general, and Sasuke, Naruto's eternal rival basically throughout the entire series, and they have like a friendship-hatred relationship, and the two push each other to become stronger, and Sasuke has a very long and emo-based route to go because he's an avenger who wants to avenge his clan after they all got basically massacred by his older brother Itachi, which was one of the best Uchiha ninjas, and they're from a clan known as the Uchiha, which can activate this one jutsu known as a Kekkei Genkai, which allows them to use the Sharingan. Their Kekkei Genkai is the Sharingan, and the Sharingan is a very high-based optical jutsu that allows them to use various acts and become really powerful, and makes their race known for being the best of ninjas in the entirety of the village. So yeah, we got our team, and then their sensei is Kakashi Sensei. He has a bit of a backstory of his own because his friend, who you'll see later on in the Shippuden arc, you can see that his friend had did some sacrifices, and long story short, Kakashi has a Sharingan on his left eye. So yeah, we get introduced to Team 7, and that's how the entire series begins, with them doing various missions and doing several different tasks. After the first arc, which is the Zabuza arc, and where they end up fighting Haku and them, which is a good way to get some character development on Team 7 and how things will basically be going throughout the series, we end up getting introduced to a larger bulk of characters in the form of several other teams and ninjas that we saw at the beginning of the series at like episodes 1 and 2 that we didn't really get to see much of again. And this is known as the Chunin exam arc, where a ninja can basically graduate from genin to Chunin. Because of this, Naruto ends up meeting a lot of other ninjas in the process, but the plot even thickens even more when the primary antagonist of the entire Naruto series, Orochimaru, arrives and comes in to bite Sasuke on the neck. Yeah, I know it sounds very kinky, but it's really fucked up because the mark leaves behind this curse mark on Sasuke, which can give Sasuke access to dark chakra-like powers that Sasuke at first denies, but then later on goes to seek off if he wants to get enough strength in order to kill Itachi later on. Because of this creates somewhat of a distance between Naruto, Sasuke, and the rest of Team 7, because Sasuke slowly goes off and wanting to become stronger in order to avenge his fallen family and kill Itachi. During all of this, we also get introduced to several other ninjas, not just from the Leaf Village, but from the village hidden in the sand as well, in the form of Gaara, Temari, and Kankuro. These ninjas are ninjas hidden in the village of the sand. Not so much anything special about them in particular, with the exception of Gaara, because Gaara and Naruto are much alike in the sense that they are both children born under the Jinchuriki like line. They're both Jinchuriki. They both have like beasts sealed within inside their bodies. Because of this creates a big calamity and a chaos, and the Sand Village Ninjas team up with the Sound Village Ninjas for a while in order to have a giant ambush on the Leaf Village during the middle of the Chunin exam finals. Also, we get introduced to several other different crazy characters like Rock Lee and his team with Tintin, who rarely has any like major role. And then we end up getting introduced to Neji Hyuga, a part of the Hyuga clan, the same clan that Hinata is in. And Hinata is a character that has a crush on Naruto, but she's very shy, so that doesn't come off as anything. She's teamed up with Shino, a bug ninja from the Aburame clan, and Kiba, a dog ninja from the Akazuki clan. Later on, we get introduced to several other characters too, like the leader of Rock Lee's team known as Guy. Rock Lee has a very tragic storyline too, but it's not fleshed out enough. Basically, long story short, he can't use ninjutsu or genjutsu, but he can use taijutsu. I should probably explain that too. Ninjutsu is the form in which ninjas can use various acts and like fireball jutsu and shadow clone, while genjutsu is like illusion-based jutsu. Taijutsu is physical fighting. Anyway, Might Guy, that's his name, goes off in order to teach Lee everything he knows. It's kind of jarring how these two aren't father and son, even though they look exactly the same. Whatever. Anyway, then we also get introduced to another team. This team consists of Ino, which is a big rival for Sakura, but this doesn't get anywhere considering that, one, Ino actually has a special jutsu known as Mind Transfer Jutsu. However, Sakura does gain some respect from Ino after their fight in the Chunin exams. And then there's Choji Akamichi. Choji's very, I like Naruto's joke for him, more like Choji Akamunchi, because he eats a lot and he's fat, and you know, he's fat, and they have to let you know he's fat. But his jutsu requires him to be fat. Then we've got Shikamaru. Shikamaru Nara is the very lazy ninja, but little to known to newcomers that watch the series, Shikamaru is actually a very intelligent ninja and actually makes it past the Chunin exams. And he's the only one to become a Chunin after the Chunin exams, even though the Chunin exams got interrupted. Anyway, back to that plot. Basically, long story short, Sasuke ends up fighting Gaara, then Naruto ends up fighting Gaara, and when the two have their tailed beast end up fighting each other, long story short, Naruto and Gaara have a tie in that fight, and they reach a truce, and the Sand Village calls a truce back in with the Leaf Village ninjas, and that all happens. But after that whole ambush stuff happens, their current Hokage, Sarutobi, ends up dying in a fight with Orochimaru, and Orochimaru loses the ability to use his hands. Because of this, they have to go Naruto and this newcomer, Jiraiya, who is basically the ninja that taught the fourth Hokage everything he knows, basically goes in and travels in order to find Lady Tsunade. But then during the process, he also trains Naruto as well. This is how Naruto learns his trademark jutsu, the Rasengan. Sasuke ends up joining the others as well soon after in order to fight off against Itachi, but he gets his ass handed to him later. They end up meeting up with Tsunade, and Tsunade has no interest to become the Hokage, but Naruto steps up and tells her off. But then later on, they end up in a big fight with Orochimaru and his right-hand man, Kabuto. Oh yeah, Kabuto was a ninja that was basically a traitor. He was a Leaf Village ninja and then betrayed them all in order to become Orochimaru's right-hand man. Anyway, during all of this chaos, Naruto effectively learns the Rasengan to some degree. He masters it somewhat and earns Tsunade's respect, and Tsunade basically comes in and is like, alright, I'll become the fifth Hokage. She becomes the fifth Hokage, and when she becomes the fifth Hokage, she basically starts ruling over, and then we get these moments where Naruto and Sasuke get more and more distant due to that loss that Sasuke took against Itachi a while back. After this all happens, Sasuke and Naruto end up fighting, and when they end up fighting, Sasuke ends up leaving, and then when he ends up leaving, he gets in contact with a lot of the Sound Village ninjas, and when he gets in contact with the Sound Village ninjas, they basically persuade him to leave the village. Naruto realizes that Sasuke left the village and basically forms up a team consisting of him, Neji Hyuga, Kiba, and I believe Shikamaru and Choji. So yeah, Shikamaru's the leader of the team, by the way, because he's the Chunin while everybody else is still Ginny. they all go off in order to find where Sasuke is, and they end up fighting off against various sound ninjas. Even Rock Lee comes back from his medical recovery that he had against the fight against Gaara, because he was in a very big, traumatized, medical, dangerous state after his fight with Gaara. So, after that, Rock Lee returns and he's able to fight again. And since he's able to fight again, he helps out in the fight as well while they fight off against the various sound ninjas. And then Naruto finally meets up with Sasuke, and the two end up having a giant fight, and a very climactic, epic fight full of battling and action and 45 different cutscenes of the same thing. Yeah. Anyway, at the meat of it all, Naruto reaches like this nine-tailed cloak-like transformation, while Sasuke reaches his second form curse mark stage, and the two have a giant Rasengan Chidori battle, which results in Naruto ending up being just a little short of winning. But Naruto does end up scratching Sasuke's does end up scratching Sasuke's headband. And when there's a funny thing, it's like symbolism, because when ninjas have like a scar on their headbands, usually it means that they're a rogue ninja. That means they're no longer a part of the village that they're in. They're rogue ninjas now. So yeah, Sasuke becomes a rogue ninja, and the scratch that Naruto puts on it kind of just confirms it all. The two when the two clash, Sasuke is just a bit stronger than Naruto, so Naruto loses the fight. And then Naruto ends up in the infirmary, and Sasuke's like long gone now. He's in the Sound Village. He's the Sound Village ninja now with Orochimaru, and Naruto swears that he'll get Sasuke back, and he then goes off the train with Jiraiya, and that's basically the end of the Naruto series in a nutshell. So, with that all being said, my overall view of the Naruto series part 1, I love it. I liked the way this series basically portrayed itself. A lot of things were interesting here. There was various ways the plots had twists and things, and there was a lot of foreshadowing for a lot of Naruto. The one complaint I'd have to say about Naruto is the overabundance of flashbacks. Yeah, flashbacks happen a lot in Naruto, not just in part 1, but in part 2 as well. And it's a good, don't get me wrong, it's like the flashbacks do a good job of character development and seeing how far a character's gotten and what's brought in a character here. But, like, let's be honest, we didn't need that many flashbacks in the Naruto versus Sasuke fight. A lot of it felt like it was just padding for time. The action and animation in Naruto is top notch. My favorite fight obviously being the Naruto versus Sasuke fight, but not when they reach their final forms. I like when they fight just regularly on top of the water, when like Naruto busts out his nine-tailed fox chakra, but not the clone, just his eyes are red, and he does that cool little like combo where he shadow clone jutsus and punches him and kicks him all the way to the other side. And then Sasuke counteracts with the Sharingan, and they do a bunch of cool little like animations. So yeah, the fights in Naruto get really extreme when they have to be. There's a lot of filler sagas that I failed to mention within the middle of this, and there's even like a little special, like a Red Clover, whatever special, that involves the Naruto and Team 7 doing another mission in the village hidden in the waterfalls or whatever. And then there's also, like, I think this series had like a grand total of 3 movies before they moved on to the Shippuden series, and the movies in themselves are really cool, but they don't like increase the plot any. They're standard movie stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, give the movies a watch if you have the time. But yeah, they were really good movies within their own rights. Naruto as a character is sort of relatable, but I gotta say a lot of his character was very obnoxious in the sense that you introduced a whole bulk of characters in the Naruto series, and a lot of them later on don't even get used. Like Tenten barely has screen time in the entirety of the Naruto series. And then hell, don't even get me started on like Ino, and a lot of the female ninjas don't have that much of a large role inside of the series. Oh, I also forgot to mention the Sand Village ninjas joined in the fight against the Sound Village ninjas since they had that alliance. Anyway, with that all being said, like, I like the format. My favorite saga of Naruto, at least part 1, has to be the Chunin exam, because like I said, it brought so many characters into the series, not just from other villages but from the Leaf Village itself, and so much anticipation, and it was cool to see them all like duke it out inside of the forest, and then it was cool to see some like alliances form. Like I remember Ino's team, the Ino Shikacho team, ends up teaming up with Sakura during when Sakura had to fight the Sound Village ninjas by herself. And yeah, it was trying to show that Sakura can fend for herself, but it did a terrible job because not only did Rock Lee join in, but Ino Shikacho joined in. And yeah, I guess you can all like pretty much notice that Sakura was my least favorite character in this entirety of the series. Not just of part 1, but of part 2 as well. Like I know she does a little bit more in part 2 in terms of like usefulness, but in this part, don't look forward to Sakura doing anything. Like, look at the Zabuza arc. She literally does nothing. Little Kuribo makes a joke about it, and there's a bridge series where they're like, Sakura, guard the bridge builder, and so all Sakura does is just run in front of the bridge builder and spreads her arms out. Like, they make a joke about that, but that's kind of what she does the entirety of the Zabuza arc. Naruto and Sasuke are doing all the work. One of my favorite fights, actually, if you exclude the Naruto vs Sasuke fight, since that one's supposed to be climactic. Another one of my favorite fights is the fight between Naruto. It's basically the fight between Team 7 versus Orochimaru. Like, and it's their first encounter. It's like when Naruto gets eaten by a snake, so he's out of it for most of the fight. But Sasuke's fighting Orochimaru by himself, and they're so scared that they can't even see straight. And then Naruto comes out and he fights Orochimaru and gets knocked out. And then Sakura says something stupid, and then she gets traumatized, and then Sasuke basically puts in work and fights off Orochimaru himself. But that comes in no avail either. And yeah, it's a very creepy, ominous fight, and Orochimaru definitely comes off as a very creepy, ominous character. And he does a really great job of becoming a villain, in the sense that like Orochimaru brings this chill in his introduction to the series. Like, yeah, he's definitely made his place as one of the villains, the top villains in anime. A lot of these characters have potential to be very flushed out and developed. Unfortunately, part 1 doesn't do them that much justice unless you watch the filler sagas. So yeah, ironically, the filler sagas are helpful if you want to see how these characters get flushed out, because they don't get flushed out in the main plot of things, except for like Rock Lee. Like, Rock Lee gets a little bit of development. Hinata and Neji get some development during the chunin exams. Shino gets absolutely none. And he even gets left out of the Sasuke retrieval arc. Kiba gets like very little during his fight with the Sound Ninja. Yeah, like the little amount of character development that the side characters get is obvious. Like, little development is there for each of the characters, but not enough to really like let you watch these characters as people, unless you go out of your way to watch the filler arcs. Naruto, in terms of just a fighting anime, because we've had fighting anime before, I like the level that Naruto's introduced itself. Like, they're not Dragon Ball Z strong, but they're not weak either. Like, these characters, like, the amount of strength that these characters have portrayed is enough to, like, at their strongest can destroy a giant area, but it can't wipe out an entire area like later on in part 2, where they just suddenly become Dragon Ball Z levels of strength. Like, the amount of damage that each of the characters do is clear here, and it makes you appreciate when something big does happen. Like, if a whole giant tower blows up because of a fight that happened in Naruto, it makes you appreciate that amount of damage all the more, because like, Naruto characters up to this point couldn't destroy that wide range of an area, but to see it happen over and over and over makes it lose its luster. But overall, like, as a series, Naruto has done a good job of showing its level of strength. Like, the ninjas show to be about as strong as regular people gifted with ninja abilities. And then if you train those gifted ninja abilities, you can become stronger and stronger and stronger. I also forgot to mention, like, several other smaller characters like Konohamaru and the Ninja Academy squad and stuff like that. But those are just little things, and Naruto slowly gains respect from the entire village as the series goes about, because of all of the successful things that he was able to do for the village. I love the introduction to the Jinchurikis and how they affect the series. And I love basically how, because of this, Naruto and Gaara had somewhat of a connection and things become a lot more clear. The plot there definitely does need to be a time skipped series in Naruto in order for us to get any progress. So I do respect Shippuden for that. It's just the way that part 1 has set itself up, and the atmosphere that part 1 has set itself for is an atmosphere I wish stayed consistently through the series, because as part 2 comes around, we slowly lose that atmosphere and things become a lot more dark and convoluted and complicated. But that is my overall view of Naruto the series part 1. I really enjoy it. In the next video, I'll basically reveal part 2, or at least what I know of part 2. So I'll see you all then, everybody. Tyrone the God 3 out.